In this video, we'll look at how to work with text boxes in Corona SDK. Corona SDK's native library provides access to platform-specific UI elements such as the text input field, multi-line text box, web view, video view, pop-up, and alert. Native.new text box creates a scrollable, multi-line text box for displaying text-based content. Text boxes can also be used for text input by setting the isEditable property to true. The native.new text box API call accepts 4 required parameters and 1 optional parameter. Left top are the required number values that represent the XY coordinates that correspond to the top left corner of the text box. Width and height are required number values that represent the width and height or size of the text box. Listener is an optional handler function to respond to keyboard events. Before we look at some sample code, it's important to note that native input text boxes are only available in device builds and on the OS X simulator, but not on the Windows simulator. Also keep in mind that while Corona Simulator attempts to provide a representation of native display objects during development, not all text box functionality is available within the simulator. Because text boxes are native display objects, you'll need to build your apps for the Xcode simulator or Android device to fully test all related functionality during development. You should always test on target devices. See the documentation located on the Corona Labs website for more information. Let's look at some sample code. In this example, we'll create a text box to display a few lines of editable text. First, we'll create 2 global variables to store the width and height of the screen. Then we'll create a rectangle to use as our background. We'll make the rectangle the same size as our screen and we'll set its fill color to black. We'll eventually add a tap event listener to the background so we can make the keyboard go away when we tap outside of the text box. Next, we'll create a text box called text box and we'll set its XY position and its height and width. Then we'll set its editable property to true so we can edit the text within the text box. We'll then increase the size of the text within the text box to a size we're happy with. Then we'll add some text to the text box by updating the text property. We've included new line characters in the text string so the text will display on multiple lines. Lastly, we'll add an event listener to the background so we can hide the device keyboard once the text box loses focus. Now let's look at the app in the Xcode simulator. When we place the focus on the text box, we see that the keyboard appears and we can edit the text in the text box. If we remove focus from the text box by touching the background with our mouse, the keyboard disappears. And that's a look at how to work with text boxes in Corona SDK. Learn more about working with Corona SDK at coronalabs.com/university.